Welcome, dear viewers, to Couch Warrior TV on YouTube. I'm the Couch Warrior, and you are watching The Passage, the Skyrim SE Let's Play, featuring Ettient Jorel, the Altmer Ranger, and his companion, Garm. Well, we've gotten a good night's rest. It's very early in the morning, about 5:30 or 6 in the morning. Ettient is poking around the surrounding countryside in really terrible weather, but he is looking for game. We need to go see the Jarl later this morning, but it's too early for that yet. The bear. Time to go to daggers. Woo. Hey, folks, don't recommend going bear hunting with daggers, but wow. Where did that guy come from? Had things pretty well in hand when it was just the one bear. Didn't see that second one, though. Wow. Good grief. Can't say that I feel bad about killing that bear. These two are obviously running amok. Oh my gosh, another hunter. Clearly a menace. I'm going to refrain from taking any food items that are on them because that just seems like a bad idea. But we'll definitely take the pelts. Well, this is what we were after in the first place. We set out to try and hunt down an elk or a deer. What a mess. Well, we're going to head back to our camp. There's a campsite down here. Looks like it may be abandoned, but we're going to check it out. Nobody around. The Legend of Crately House. Let's take that. Hunter's Journal. Track down a small den of bears today. Their pelts are in fine condition and should fetch a good price. Going to set up camp for the night and kill the beast in the morning. Hopefully we can get by on a few arrows we have left. Or I may have to fall back on my blade. Oh my gosh. Okay, well. Let's take that. I guess we understand who owned this camp now. God, another one of these masks. I'll take that too. Well, the innkeeper at the tavern said that hunters had been going missing. Wouldn't be because of bears, would it? Well, somehow these bears were smart enough to get the better of them. Unfortunate for them. They almost got the better of us, actually. So... oh, dismal weather. Let's get back to our campsite. Yeah, look at this. Hey, stay back, girl. Ooh, something in there. What is it? Oh, it's a Spriggan. Oh, crap. All right, girl. We're in it now. We're in it. Good dog. Spriggan. Maybe Spriggans are the problem. Let's make sure there's no more of the things. Catalog of weapon enchantments. That seems useful. I'll take that. Look at that. That looks familiar to Etienne. Let me take that as well. All right, let's get out of here. Seems suspicious, you know? We find a couple of hunters, obviously overwhelmed by bears they were hunting. A couple of dead bandits. And a Spriggan. And what we know of the Spriggans, at least, is we've encountered a couple of them in the past. And they cause the wildlife to get really aggressive. So we don't know a lot about Spriggans, but we've had enough encounters on our own to have a good appreciation for how dangerous they can be. All right, let's go see the Jarl. Citizen. Looks like this is the place. Hey, girl. You stay out here. There's no telling how these nobles will react to having a dog present. And don't pester the goats. They're already nervous. Look at him sitting there. What a cocky son of a bitch. He doesn't even have a guard.
Yes, what is it that you want? Good to see you. Finally, someone useful is around.
I got your letter. I'm Ettient Jorel.
Ah, it's you. Yes, well, now we'll see if the stories about you are true. There's a group of bandits in my hold that I may have had a few discreet dealings with. The cut they were giving me was good at first, but now it's time to clean things up. Go and take care of it.
No.
Disappointing?
Yeah.
Come and see me again sometime. I might have some use for you.
Right. We're saying no to that.
I protect
without hesitation.
whoever that might be.
It'd be one thing if he were saying, there are bandits in my hold and they're hurting people and go take them out. But he's basically saying, hey, I'm a corrupt politician and I'm dealing with these bandits and I want you to murder all of them now. So the Thalmor are trying to basically turn us into a murderer for hire in order to further their political aims, whatever those are. We're not doing that. Okay, let's make some leather. The Hound definitely does not have any qualms about saying no in this particular situation at all. That wasn't part of the deal. Deal was we were supposed to gather intelligence on the Forsworn, and we were supposed to wage war on the Forsworn Nobody said anything about committing murders. Nobody said anything about assassinating people or taking back forts. That kind of a thing. That is outside the scope. So we're saying no, which leaves us now to figure out what we're going to do next here.
Let me know if you want anything. I think I'm gonna clean mug around.
I'm going to talk to this innkeeper and see if I can help her out finding these lost hunters.
Welcome to Dead Man's Drink. Of course.
Let's refill our water. And for role-playing purposes...
Here, take a look at this. Some of the Jarl's men came by and left this bounty letter.
Yeah, which Jarl? Kill the bandit leader located at Knife Point Ridge.
You hear any juicy gossip in town? Be sure to share it with me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and try and find your lost hunters. Alright. So, he would basically tell her what he found so far, which is a couple of dead hunters up in the hills.
That sound?
And then hopefully get some directions from her. She said they were hunting up north, but I'm assuming she would be able to give us slightly better directions than that. Alright, Garm. Let's go hunting. This is a type of mission that is right up Etienne's alley, so...
Let me guess. Someone stole your sweet roll.
Interesting that... the Jarl would try to get us to go and kill a bunch of bandits that he was on the outs with, and then also be putting out a bounty on them. So he's pulling out all the stops to try and eliminate these bandits. They must have run afoul of him or something like that, that he would want them eliminated so badly that he would ask us and just put out a general bounty for them as well. But we know more, right? The average person would look at that bounty and say, oh yeah, bandits, that's bad for the hold, let's go after them. Not knowing the full story, but we know the full story now. That he's had some quote-unquote discreet business dealings with them, and he doesn't like his cut. And so it's essentially him looking for revenge or to take over the market or whatever it is. Whoa. Hello. Where did he come from? Thanks, girl. What the heck? We took a couple of good shots there. It's not good. Okay. Look at... it's an ancient Nord weapon. Let's track that skeleton. Once again, it is the curse of Ariel. That's what I'm calling it. Get it, girl. Good job. All right, this is a dangerous place, man. Well, we recovered a lot of arrows. That's a blessing, I guess. Need time to get our ranger game going here. So, I think that it's important that we appreciate that as individuals, we can all be irrational. We can all be stubborn. And everything that's taken place for Ettient up to this point has been about winning his freedom and keeping his sister safe. And so the natural reaction may be to say, well, Ettient would never refuse to do a job if he really cared about his sister. Well, that's not entirely true. Think about his situation. He's been isolated up in the Reach for weeks, risking his life, living off the land, going through all kinds of hardships. Suddenly finds himself very close to what should be the end of his ordeal. Only to find himself now for the second time being screwed with by the Thalmor. And all the while, the pressure is mounting. The pressure around what's going to happen next, right? How do I get out of this? When is it going to be over? All of that. We're trying to determine right now if this is perhaps a hunter camp. It looks like yet another abandoned camp in the forest. Setting up camp near Mushroom Grove, interested in seeing what exactly is causing their enhanced growth in this area. Today, I'll be heading out to see what kind of effect the mushrooms and nearby Nirnroot are having on the ecosystem downstream. Okay, this wasn't a hunter. This was a man of science who is missing. So he's a guy who's rapidly reaching the end of his rope. So think of it, mounting stress, pressure, anxiety, coupled with anger. Ah, Spriggans again. Need to watch our target. So he's a man who's frustrated, and he's looking to reassert some control over his life, which is currently spinning out of control. There's another one. All right, it's coming back. And he says no. It's an irrational impulse. Because what we're all thinking is, are you sure you want to do that? Isn't there some risk in doing that? And of course there is. And his reaction is irrational, but who of us in the face of a stressful situation haven't reacted in some way that's irrational and let our anger or our frustration get the better of us? Manamarco, King of Worms. Take that. Well, lady, I can tell you what happened to your hunters. You've got yourself a Spriggan infestation that you're not even entirely aware of. Spriggans that are potentially making animals that would otherwise be the perfect quarry for hunters turn aggressive, and not just aggressive, I mean aggressive in sort of a fanatical and rabid way, which no hunter is going to expect. So now we've got a bad situation where we've got a Spriggan infestation, and we've got potentially a forest full of animals we can't trust whether or not they're normal. Alright, so we need to find these hunters and find them quickly before anybody else falls victim to this infestation. So far we've got at least 2 dead hunters and an alchemist. And we've eliminated 3 Spriggans so far. Come on. I'm gonna get you. I got you. All right, so keep our eyes open for a hunter's camp. So this is a mission in which having Garm with us is absolutely critical. Garm is going to be able to sniff out these rabid animals long before we would. Bandits. These are not hunters. Okay, girl. I don't think we need to tangle with them. As long as they're not standing in our way. Let's head back around this way. Look at this. Look at this. A ring of mushrooms surrounding the tree, right? So those rings of mushrooms could be locations where trees used to stand. That's actually something that you see in the real world, where a tree dies and rings of mushrooms grow up around the rotting stump. That could be. Although, we do have to wonder if there is some ritual significance to those as well, because we did see at least one ring that looked like it had some kind of a ceremony gone awry in the center of it. Okay. That's that mill we saw earlier. Okay, good landmark. Well, I'm thinking of it. Let's level up. Let's see where we're at here. Time to invest in health. Wow, look at that. We've almost got another level again already. Okay, so this time around, what I'm going to do is we're going to invest in arcane blacksmiths so we can finally improve all of our gear. That's one of those perks that for me it's always a little bit hard to invest in. You know? But I sure do love having it. There are certain perks that you invest in because they're really sexy. They do more damage or, you know, give you some really cool ability. Arcane Blacksmith is kind of one of those that it's sort of a nice to have, something you want to have, but it's not the most interesting perk in the world to invest in, so... we will check it off the list. Okay, we seem to have two trails going into the interior of the forest running parallel to one another, so rather than walking on any one, we're going to walk in between. So right now, Ettient is fairly certain that this bandit bounty that he has for Knife Point Ridge, that bandit in this Knife Point Ridge location, wherever it is, has to be the same. It has to be the same bandits. Hey, wait, here's a guy right here.
Really got myself. Hello? You!
Hey.
Over here, please. I need help.
What happened?
Thank Kinnereth for you, stranger. I'd almost given up hope of walking away from here.
All right. Who are you?
Name's Valder. I hunt out of Fall Creek. We tracked a bear to this den. Good coin for those pelts. We had the big sow cornered when they showed up. 3 of them, out of nowhere. Spriggans. Niels went down before we even knew to run. Ari died just inside. I never even thought the things were real. I may have lost a drop or 2 of blood. Truth is, I'm not going anywhere like this. Hurts to breathe.
All right. Let me have a
Just
potion
need
to
a little
spare.
to get going. Much better. Thanks, friend. I wouldn't have lasted much longer without that. But now what? I can't just walk away, not with my friends' bodies in there being torn apart by those beasts.
I understand. Let me help you.
You'd do that for a stranger? I don't know what to say. Lead on, I suppose.
All right, here we go. Look at, there's one right there, and she's big. She's bigger than the Spriggans we've fought before. We need to see what we can do here. Fortify Marksman. And a potent poison.
Be careful!
Got her again. Woo.
Hey, Ettient!
You're the worst hunter in the history of hunting. Did you know that? Get them. Right there.
Never should have come here.
All right, one more. There she is right there. All right, everybody. Let's flush her out. Use the potent poison. Marksman. See if this wakes her up.
Be careful!
All right.
That's it? That's all you got?
Are you running into your own traps? Hey, it's done.
What do you need?
What do you mean, what do I need?
It's done then.
Yeah,
Justice, if you can call it that.
justice.
Look, I want you to have this. I know it isn't much, but it's important to me. Ari gave me this dagger when we first started hunting together. I always said it brought her luck. You should be the one to carry it now. I'll give him a proper burial, then head back. Come find me if you're ever in Falkreath. You'll always be welcome at my door.
The hell does this have to do with justice? Books. Orcish boots of fire suppression. Excellent. We'll take that. And we will offload that stuff. All right, Garm. I guess we've done what we came to do. We found the lost hunters. Fortunately, a couple of them were killed. We also found a beautiful place. Quite amazing, actually. Alright, we're going to leave the pelts for him, and we're going to leave him to bury his friends. Ettient knows what it's like to have to bury your friends. Never a good thing. Alright, so back to Falkreath we go. It's not likely that this is the end of the Spriggan threat, but we've managed to get to the bottom of what the issue was in the first place, which is kind of interesting. By sort of chaining together some little scenes that we find here in Skyrim, we were able to kind of put the pieces together and figure out what was going on. See, now this is what I will say, that's another added advantage to doing something that is location focused. There have been many, many times when I have encountered all of those locations, and when you encounter those locations separately, they're meaningless. But when you chain them together and say, hey, wow, look at, dead hunters, and there's Spriggans present. Attacked hunters, there's Spriggans present. The body of a dead alchemist out in the woods, Spriggans. Abandoned camps, you start to put all of those pieces together, and now you get a much more interesting and scary picture of a Spriggan infestation and people are going missing and stuff like that, right? Now you suddenly have a story. You have an interesting story you're putting together by connecting all of these seemingly unconnected events. And that is an experience that you're much more likely to have if you're adventuring in a specific area. What the hell? Let's use a stamina poison on our daggers. Look at that. He's using probably stolen Imperial armor. Nice sword we'll keep. We'll take this stuff. All right, it's been a long day. We're going to go back to our camp, get some rest. We'll go into town in the morning. And we'll let folks know that everything has kind of been resolved. We'll sell some gear, do a little bit of crafting, and then make our next plan. We need to gather some more wood before we can do this. But at this point, Ettient enters his tent. Let's get a little bite to eat here. Okay. That's better. So you remember how I was talking to you about how the real fun now is sort of chaining things together. Well, this is a point at which we can start doing that. So, Ettient enters his tent, and inside of his tent, he finds a note. Let's read that. The note reads, "Lest you forget the terms of your contract, failure to perform may put your sister at risk. Whiterun is not outside of our reach. Any dog may be brought to heel, even the hound." So Ettient has received a threat that he must perform the task laid out for him by the Jarl, or his sister could be in danger. This is obviously a direct threat from the Thalmor, saying basically, come to heel, do as you're told, or things are going to get nasty. Well, friends, I want to thank you very much for continuing to watch the passage. And I look forward to sharing the continuing adventure with you, and I will see you next time.